Hey y'all, welcome back to Shaun White Skateboarding. I'm Aesthetic, with me on this video is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Matt Rocks 101.
Hey, I'm back.
And Turo.
I love this song.
Yeah, when this played I was like, oh my god, it's Destiny. Because you always talk about friends.
It's my song, yeah.
Well, you know, the song loves you too.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's a mutual love relationship.
Thanks, Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand.
So yeah, last time we started up our adventure of saving the city from the Ministry control through the power of skateboarding. Spurred on by Shaun White giving us his board. And yeah, so we opened up this harbor area, and this is the next area to go to.
Yeah.
Once again, it's all dark and blue and boring, and by doing 6 skateboarding tricks, we're gonna liven it up. We're gonna free the people.
Have we talked about how polarizing this game is yet? Apparently, in the previous episode, did we talk about
we
it?
mostly just talked about how weird it is while also discussing the mechanics.
Because like this is one of those games where everyone I've talked to either says they love this game or they despise this game, and I always thought it was so weird.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard a single person be like, "Oh yeah, this game was okay." It's always like either they hate it or it's the best game ever made.
That's
Maybe they just
weird.
hate Wendy's.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I
original
blame them
cool.
for that because the Wendy's near me has definitely gone downhill.
Okay, well, this was back when it wasn't downhill. This was when it was uphill.
Yeah, Wendy's is the fast food of the revolution. You'll never see McDonald's be there for the people. McDonald's probably supports the Ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McDonald's
for sure.
probably like funds the Ministry or whatever.
Yeah. Wendy's forced their workers to unionize.
Dude, look what they did to my shop. I am nothing without that shop, man.
Oh my god,
It's Bob's. Oh my God! It is Bob's
Yeah.
skate shop. Bob, you're in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like super locked up Bob's skate shop.
Yeah.
Bob,
Yeah,
how does? Okay, well now that we have someone who's in the game, Bob, what was it like living under the Ministry before Shaun White gave this kid a skateboard?
I'll be real, I enjoyed my life in the Ministry more.
Yeah,
'Cause at
I'm
least
in
I
like
wasn't like a stupid gimmicky character.
no sadness, no emotions. Like sign me up. I'm sick
Yes.
of like laying in bed at night and I start thinking of something I'm like disappointed in about myself. And then it's always like, well, I can't just stop thinking of this. I'm now set
Yeah.
on an
Okay,
hour or
real
too
talk.
long thing of getting sadder and sadder.
How do you get out of that? Because what I've started doing is just like putting on, I don't know, like one of those like 20-hour long Skyrim discussion videos or something, and just trying to
Something
focus
where
on
you
that
have to
instead.
get back out of bed and do some
Do you
shit.
get out of? Because I try not to get out of bed because I feel like that just wakes me up more and it makes it harder to sleep. I just reach over to my phone and put on like a 30-hour Skyrim discussion video and listen to that. Because I mean, like if I fall asleep to it, I'm gonna wake up to it.
Yeah, I put on the movie Quantum of Solace and fall right asleep.
I don't blame you.
Wow.
Maybe I should start doing that.
What? Do you guys see those just blocks of rubble just sort of materialize and fall from the sky?
Yeah.
Nowhere near the actual building you're trying to destroy?
Yeah, well, you know what? That's cool. It works.
Yeah. That was
Alright.
Shaun White's power teleporting those blocks in.
Yeah, so again, this is a post-skate series game, so they've had to introduce a bunch of things from there, like session points, you know, set a marker, respawn there, and then also pump to get more speed on half pipes, which, I don't know, obviously it happens, it's not like super hard, but it's never like I could find exactly where to pump, you know, compared to, again, Skate 3, where it just feels so natural to crouch and uncrouch when you do. But here it'll tell you when you do it right, because you'll see, you know, the speed lines of your character going back up the half pipe and back down. You saw another few things there where I was doing some more advanced tricks, like body flips or whatever. And I started a long trick too late, intentionally, and my guy did like a bailout animation, where again, since this game is very lenient, you like barely get punished for that at all, and you just get back on your board and lose like no flow and just like keep riding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it just
makes
ends the
it
combo.
even weirder when you do actually bail and you get Thanos snapped into those bubbles.
Little balls, yeah.
Yeah, like
God.
they straight up did not program just a bailing animation. So either you land a trick, you do that intentional land on your knees and get back on, or you just fucking get snapped away from reality and have to respawn.
You can power snap and then you're gone.
away from reality.
Yeah.
Oh,
You think
there goes gravity.
Orion.
And so here is
here
where
comes
those grabs and tweaked grabs that you only learned about from the in-game manual come in. You saw
Never-
like the melon and then crossbone. And
Never
again,
done those before.
those are worth a really good amount of points.
Whoa.
Bob, you got your skate shop back.
Yeah.
You can buy. I thought that said buy tickets.
Yeah.
tickets to my downfall?
Right on! You did me a solid, and I got one coming right back at you. This is the coveted trick book. Whenever you're ready to learn something new, just wander on over and take a peek. The more experience you get, the more tricks you can unlock. Simple, huh?
Alright, so again, progress through the game, do challenges, get XP, and that XP is how you buy more tricks.
Damn.
Once again, you have like half of everything unlocked at the start. Again, mostly the up, down, left, right, and you need to buy the diagonals. I'm gonna start with buying the first things, like the basic flip tricks, you know, just so if I just, you know, do a trick thing with the right stick, it'll do what I want.
That dude
I did a
is
pose
so
like this at my
ominous.
local skate park once.
Just standing there,
And then I
just
fell over,
hanging
yeah.
out? Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab
I didn't
it!
want to look like I was gonna drop in. I didn't want to give them the expectation that I would actually gonna like do a trick. So I just kind of stood there with my board over the edge in an awkward, undroppable in position.
Right.
Just kind of let everyone know that I was just, you know, feeling out the zone. I wasn't actually gonna do anything. And then I got in my car and left.
It's kind of like, can he even recover from it? Or like, should we call the fire department?
Yeah.
Is he like a cat trapped in a tree or something?
Yeah.
That legit
A
was
bat
me when I
trapped in
was
a
like
tree, yeah.
12. I got up on the 5-foot ramp and I got so scared.
God.
I actually couldn't get down. They kept telling me to drop in, and I was like, oh, I can't do it. And I was like a cat
'Cause,
stuck
like,
in a tree scenario.
You just can't compartmentalize that. Like, the 90th percentile of the worst possible things that could happen to you is you skin your knee falling down.
Oh, no.
I mean-
Because what happened was I dropped in once, and I fell backwards and smacked my head on the ramp. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I've
that-
seen
that makes
videos of
sense.
people doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we read Twisted Twister. You know what happens.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, I was
yeah.
also like
He
12.
rolled down a ramp. Like, it's not even like he fell. Like, he just, like, on his side rolled down, and every bone in his body was gone.
Yeah.
It's
That's how they make.
vaporized.
That's how they used to make gelatin, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd break every bone in your body
Yeah.
and extract, you know,
They would just
juice.
squeeze you dry like a tube of toothpaste. All the gelatin would come out.
Yeah.
And then they would just throw away the skins.
Now you
twisted
know what
acid.
sucks is like now that's a very artificial process now.
Yeah, now it's
You
artificial.
know, and it's like
Now
not
they
the
just
same.
use,
It's like,
like,
the gelatin just is
broken
not the
stock.
same as it used
It's
to
like
be.
it went from analog to digital.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
digital gelatin extraction.
They found out they could save more
That's
money
the
if
name
they
of my
made it
new band.
artificially
Yeah,
instead of
I
like
was gonna
actually
say.
juicing a real human, and it
well,
just
yeah.
tasted the same sense.
Okay, so what do you guys think about that spinning thing?
I hate
the
it.
blue
I
bar
like
that
it.
Oh, you
turns
know-
around.
okay, no, I don't hate
I think that's cool. I like
I
the
think that's
aesthetic.
fine. Yeah.
I
think that's fine,
personally
actually.
think it's a little more distracting than it is helpful.
Oh,
Fair.
really?
That's fair.
Like, it's almost like when I see it and I want to land correctly, I start looking at that and trying to line up the bars more than just looking at my character and seeing.
Now, do you
where
think
they
that's
are.
intentional though?
Probably
That-
Do they
not.
want you
yeah.
to look at the bar more than your character?
Well, yeah, I guess if the answer to that is yes, then that's not a good decision, I suppose.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot this song was in this game. This was in NHL 2K10.
Yeah, so for a little bit of soundtrack talk, I just kind of like Shaun White snowboarding, it's pretty much mostly rock, some alternative rock, some punk, and some like 80s or throwback songs. Kind of a safe option. I don't know, like, it's not like I heard anything I hadn't heard before and went, I need to find what
Yeah.
band this was, or this really stuck in my head. But, you know, at least like the throwback songs feel a little more relevant than like Shaun White snowboarding, where there it'd be like, okay, I guess I'll listen to Barroom Blitz.
Yeah, and fucking White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. And
I'll listen to
I will never
Perfect
get
Day.
over.
I love
By
Perfect
Barlow?
Day.
Yeah.
That song, that is the only reason I know that song is from Shaun White Snowboarding.
Well, yeah.
Again,
Barlow
yeah, it's
is
like,
not
Ubisoft, they went with a bunch of safe options, so yeah, some like pretty popular songs at the times, like, you know, Franz Ferdinand, or, I mean, when you hear Daylight by Matt and Kim again, you'll immediately be like, oh, this song!
It's from 2010.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know what? I got a question. Do you prefer that or something like Skate 2's weird esoteric soundtrack where, like, you might know, like, 3 of the songs on there?
I mean, I really like hearing things I hadn't heard before and wanting to track them down. That's, again, part of the
interesting.
majesty of the Amped series.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Because
Plus
one of the
also-
things I didn't like about Skate 2 was its soundtrack. It's, like, just a lot of
I
weird songs.
legitimately think Skate 2
I
soundtrack
think
is
I
one of the
did
best ever made.
Like Shaun White's snowboarding soundtrack more, just maybe because I knew more stuff, so perhaps it's
I've never been like a
taste thing.
pop music, top 40s kind of person, so to, you know, hear songs that I've already heard, like, in the wild, you know, a ton already is not a terrible thing, but it's just sort of...
Like, give me something.
Not,
Again, I
not
like-
as cool as not hearing songs you haven't heard before. Yeah.
I mean,
understand.
I'm not even really a big music guy, so I always prefer to hear new stuff, but I'll never go looking for stuff.
Right.
Just because I'm just not that into music.
It keeps a greater amount of things new.
Yeah.
Music.
I will
you will.
never get over how Shaun White Snowboarding had "The Revolution Will Not Be Fucking Televised" by Gil Scott Heron.
I don't
Oh,
even
yeah,
know that,
was
song.
weird.
That what
It was like slam poetry set to music.
yeah.
Huh.
It's like a very, very important like slam poetry set to music. It's a very popular song. I cannot describe it, actually.
Anyone else think this map looks like Australia?
I was going to say that. They even have fucking Tasmania.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Suspicious.
Try to free your mind.
Haha. Yeah, we're gonna learn more powers.
Oh, I see.
I love how this is the loading screen that comes up every time it does this, you know, free your mind, learn more powers thing. It's like, oh, wait a sec. Most of the ministry things are bad things, right?
You can bend it up or down.
Why do I need to get brainwashed to do this? But yeah, so we've learned how to shape rails. Now we learn shaping streets. This is the first thing that you control kind of how it goes. So yeah, while you're on it, use the thumbstick to make it go up or down, to get to new areas. Sometimes it'll auto-link up with, you know, the edge of whatever you're going towards. Sometimes it just won't.
I see.
Same thing with the rails when they let you modify those, and
The rails
It's a
honestly
lot
work a
more
lot better
frustrating.
than the streets do.
really, I always find myself missing with the rails. They do have
Well-
that autocomplete, but like, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, more world shaping, more platforming. We talked last time about how, you know, more than any other extreme sports game, this game is a platformer.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you brought up we live in a post-skate society
Society.
now. This was one of the first post-skate games, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 I believe
That's
was
what it
this like the
means, yeah.
only post-skate game for a
Yeah,
while?
no
For a
skater
while.
games have come out since.
But I mean, for a while, wasn't this?
But
like
yeah,
the only
like
one?
honestly, this did sort of. Probably in hindsight, it came out a little like late at the end of the
Late,
tail
yeah.
end of that sort of skate and extreme sports sort of trend at the time, and then yeah, you'd have to wait until like the indie developed games like Session and Skateboarder XL.
Do you feel like Session or Skateboarder XL took any influence from this at all?
Probably not.
Probably
No,
not.
I mean this game was mostly driven by its premise and, you know,
Yeah,
this
it's
shaping powers, gimmicks, sort of thing.
I guess the only reason I bring it up is it's interesting to me because like this was like the first post-skate game. Like how much stuff was never like done again. Like the turning indicator. That's not in any other games. Like everything went full more simulationist than Skate did instead of taking light
Yeah,
skate
going
mechanics and going
more-
less simulationist.
That's because it
If that
went
makes
back to
sense.
being a fringe thing where skateboarding games were made for skateboarders primarily.
Interesting. I guess, yeah, because Skate really was one of those super mainstream sort of things where you didn't have to be like a skate simulator it was very accessible, even if you weren't like a skateboarder.
It's one of those things where you know, I think Skate was a game that was, like you said, both for skaters and also non-skaters.
Yeah.
You could learn a lot of skating lingo from playing Skate. And that would be your only exposure to skating, in the same way that, like, there are a lot of people who only know anything about guns from Call of Duty. And they don't know anything about guns for real. You know?
Exactly.
There's a term in racing games called simcade games, where it's like, trying to take sim concepts and make them palatable for a wider gaming audience, such as like how actual drifting mechanics work as opposed to press brake to start drifting.
Yeah.
And like Skate really was that for skateboarding, you know, and like after, you know, that whole zeitgeist died, then it was like just for skateboarders.
Seriously, thanks for opening my shop, dude. I'm so happy I could cry. But, you know, man cry, where you make a face and squint until it goes away. Go ahead, skate around. I'm just gonna stay here.
That zoom in was like exactly half a second longer than it needed
That
to
was
be.
that was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen. Is that dude's face?
It gets worse.
I don't know. You're a man. You can't cry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That dude's face looked like, I think it would have been better if he just cried, because I did not like what I saw when I looked into
I don't
those
think
eyes.
this game has water in it.
Oh, that's true. I mean, there's water to the right.
That's not water. That's gelatin.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh
Sorry.
god, it's aspic.
It's aspic. Human aspic. My
Yeah.
favorite.
So now we need to transform all the billboards by hoping that the wall ride feature works. Because there is a lot of this stuff where you just sort of go to do something and hope the game has you do it. Like wall rides and such.
I will never get over these fucking video games that have, like, you gotta be the revolution, man, and still have just a bunch of brand names all over them.
Yeah.
It's so jarring.
But that's just it.
Wendy's and
It's not an
Stripe.
anti-capitalist revolution. They still want capitalism. They just don't want the man. And like,
Okay,
who's
yeah.
the man? What is the man?
Yeah.
You know, he's the man. Like,
It's
you know, they're just the
They want
they
you
don't know
to
what they want.
freely express yourself
Within
in
these
ways that are
pre-selected
safe
options.
and acceptable by,
For Wendy's.
you know, Wendy's and the audience and all that.
Yeah, they just want you to feel free to express yourself in ways that the Wendy's brand can align with.
It's
Yeah.
so bizarre.
No.
Like, I don't know, you see all those mac and cheese billboards, and it's like mac and cheese is the hip brand that the kids love and
Mac and cheese?
doesn't do all that stuffy
Yeah.
stuff, and then you learn that it's owned by Unilever.
Yeah.
By who?
Unilever? Sorry, what's mac and cheese? You mean like macaroni
There was a
and
billboard.
cheese?
There was a billboard of like
it
mac
was
and cheese,
like-
but it was an edgy spelling.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry,
I missed
yeah.
that. No, I get what you're saying.
I gotcha.
I was like, is he just ragging on mac and
I love
cheese?
mac and cheese.
Yeah, look up in the top right.
I didn't realize there was such a thing as conflict mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you Kraft or are you
Yeah.
other brand?
Bob Jones? No. Bob Evans?
Bob
Evans.
Jones.
Bob Evans. That's the other mac and cheese brand.
Bob Evans.
This
I don't know who the fuck
a-
Bob Jones is.
This is
Bob
a
something.
fantastic conversation.
Bob
This
Jones.
is the conversation of all time.
Big mac and cheese.
Okay, but would you eat Bob Jones branded mac and cheese?
I don't know.
If it was tasty and didn't poison me.
And wasn't conflict if it was organically grown macaroni. I don't
Right,
want
right.
conflict macaroni.
Yeah.
about,
Oh, excuse me. Is this macaroni and cheese gelatin free?
Yeah.
God. Yo,
I thought
yeah, I
gluten free
guess-
was bad enough.
Damn.
Did you know that the major brands all harvest their macaroni using child labor? Bet you didn't know that, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Would you eat a Jimmy John's mac and cheese?
Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's? Fuck no. Jimmy John's
Jimmy
makes the
John's
worst
started
sandwiches.
selling mac and cheese. I'd be like, why?
They don't even make good sandwiches.
Ooh.
That's it. Hot take. Hot spicy take. I do not like Jimmy John's sandwiches.
But you remember the smells are free.
Yeah, and the sandwiches are shitty too. I think I prefer
Yeah.
the smells.
Honestly, yeah, I never get Jimmy John's.
Like I used to for a while. I got Jimmy John's, and then I was like, these sandwiches fucking suck. I'm not gonna spend money on them anymore. And I switched to like fucking Jersey Mike's and Subway's still kind of bad, but like Jersey Mike's was infinitely
Subway
better.
is so much worse.
God, yeah.
Okay, but like Subway
But-
was like not the same kind
You know,
of
you
gross.
should have. Do you have a Firehouse Subs near you?
Yeah, but they're really expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Same with like
I mean,
Jersey
now
Mike's.
I just get Firehouse Subs whenever I can because they're actually good. But like back then, you know, I was cheap, so it was like Subway, Jersey Mike's. And Jersey Mike's was really fucking pricey too, so it was either Subway, Jimmy John's, or Jersey Mike's. And Firehouse Subs kind of just beats them all.
Or you just starve.
Yeah,
By
Connor, do you remember?
the way, Fight the Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Fight the Man. Fuck the Man.
Corporations.
But yeah,
Fuck
Jersey
authority.
Mike's. They're okay. Jimmy John's.
I mean, to be
not
fair,
so
I
good.
also don't believe in any hierarchies. So, Connor, do you remember in our college town there was that weird little sub shop next to that pizza shuttle that we went to maybe
Yeah.
twice, and like it was the saddest sub place I've ever been. Nobody ever seemed to want to be there. And they always had incredible deals on their sandwiches because nobody wanted to be there.
You know what? That
Yeah.
reminds me. Do you
They
guys
could've been
have a
haunted.
Substation 2?
I've seen
there?
Substation, I've never had it.
Like a Substation 2, I mean.
Oh,
Oh,
with the
the
number
number
two?
The number 2, yes.
I'm willing to bet it's because a franchise owner opened a second one.
because
and then,
there was a
to differentiate
Substation
them
2
for tax
here.
reasons. Yes, there's a couple of Vietnamese Thai places around here that are named like that. Like
And you know what the worst part about
Penang
Substation
something
2
and then Penang 2.
was that sometimes it was spelled the number 2 and sometimes it was spelled TOO.
No, stop.
And I had no idea, like, it confused me so much. I was like, who is Substation 2? Is there Substation 1? There's no Substation
Yeah.
1 where I
No,
live.
there is a Substation 1. It's just called Substation.
There is no substation where I live. There was only substation where I lived. Yeah, because they're not around here anymore.
This mission
rest
is
in
still
peace.
going.
There was no substation.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
only the Substation 2.
How many? Oh my God, there's 20 of them.
Yeah, ride back through the playable area you have so far developed.
Oh my god, this is the most tedious thing I've ever seen in my
I will
life.
say kind of that like, sure, while the, coloring of the game is cool and the, development, pretty much all of the areas are going to be city. So yeah, it can get sort of
A little
old. I mean,
samey.
you look even at, again, back at Skate, and there's, like the suburbs or the different areas of the city are very different from each other. Even when the suburbs got, like, wiped out in Skate 2, it was always very different areas, whereas here it'll be, big city blocks or, like, a industrial area by the city, da-da-da. There is sort of one area that breaks that up, but, yeah.
By the way,
not
Tasmania.
Don't tell me if I'm wrong about this, but this strikes me as the kind of thing where, like, you would have, this game came out at the right time for them to have, like, the third act of this game. Turns out there's a zombie infestation in part of the city, and then, like, you're skating through that. Like, that would be...
I would love to see that.
No, they
shit.
saved the zombie stuff for DLC.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What was it? Sunset Overdrive or something?
Yeah, that was a
like a
game.
Tony Hawk kind. That was a post skate Tony Hawk game.
I was gonna. The only actual like post-skate skateboarding games I could think of were Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD and 5.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD came out in 2012. That was post.
Yeah. Which I
bad.
still
It was
think
so
that game
fun.
is
You mean,
fine.
like, AAA or, like...
It was not fine.
I thought that game was perfectly acceptable.
Well, I
Wow.
think that you are wrong.
It almost feels like there was a time there where, like, AAA developers or publishers created some extreme sports games but didn't really know why.
Yeah.
This
I
is
can-
still
I can agree with
something the kids like, right?
Yeah. Especially these Ubisoft games where, again, I'm not going to be playing Shaun White's Snowboarding because they really didn't know what they were doing. There are some mechanics in there where it really brings that game down. Whereas
That
here,
game's
again,
so
the mechanics
fucking
are just run of the mill. They're fine. You know,
Yeah.
everything else that's weird, but it makes for a more interesting experience. But yeah, we're headed to another area of the city, and it's all dark and boring and sad.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'll be real,
If only
if-
there was a Wendy's here.
Yeah, if only
Yeah.
there was a Wendy's.
Only I
that
could
would
buy
really
some
help.
Stride gum.
If only there was a
how that
Wendy's
would
and a
feel.
Motorola. A Motorola would really cheer this place up, I think.
You know, I gotta say, with the shaping of the rails and stuff, what they should have done was added more verticality to the city. Like, you know, like
They did.
getting actually onto the rooftops, going around buildings that are many, many floors high would be fucking dope.
I think
I
you
don't
will
know if
like
they
the
do
next
that.
area we're
you'll
about to go
see.
to then.
You'll see how far they push that.
I'm thinking like Crackdown.
I know.
Like the game Crackdown would be so fucking
Yeah.
cool with a skateboard.
Yeah.
Shooting people, you're on your skateboard.
Well, again, Sunset Overdrive. Wasn't that basically Sunset Overdrive?
That was kind of what Sunset Overdrive was like, yeah.
And
actually,
there
I
is
should
still
give it a
that
shot.
like skateboarding with guns game that was announced like
Oh,
a
that
few
was
years
roller
ago now.
There was that
Roller
rollerblading with guns. Yeah, roller drone.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about the FPS game.
Either
that we
way,
talked
we'll
about.
Yeah.
we'll continue on saving the city next time.